Okay, today I've got one of the most common problems is strip screws. So I've got a heap of strip screws here, all different types and that. This is a very common problem a lot of people come across with motorbikes. Is a big problem. You always buy a second-hand motorbike off someone, they've always got strip screws in them, they always butcher them. And I'll explain a little bit why they get stripped. First is the screwdriver's got to be the right fitting screw. So before you even try and undo it, it's got to be nice and tight like this. If you try and use a screwdriver like this that doesn't fit in there properly, you'll just end up stripping it. So you got to make sure you got a good quality set of screwdrivers before you go undoing any screws, because if you've got poor quality, the tips have all worn. And I'll show you some of the, like obviously you get a lot of different types of screwdrivers in the kit when you buy a kit. I've got a whole kit here. Got a big kit of about 13-14 screwdrivers. I've got some vice grips, some pliers, got a hammer, this is last resort. I've got some true extractor bits here, I've got some more here, different types ones. I've got these ones here. I've got these screw extractors here, these ones. My most favourite tool with strip screws is this impact driver. This impact driver is a very good tool. You come with all your Phillips and Flathead screw bits. I really like that tool a lot. I've got another screw extractor kit here. You got your drill bits and these screws. This sort of kit, these extractors like this, they're not much good from my experience, and these are pretty useless too. They've got a purpose of getting very lightly stuck screws out, but when it comes to heavy duty screws in motorbike side covers that are stuck in there with dirt and rust, these are just useless. So you're wasting your time if you think you're going to get them out on a motorbike. And I've got all these different bits here. I like to use these when they're stripped as well with this driver. So I've got a strip Phillips head screw here at the moment, and as you can see, I'm never going to be able to undo it. I've got this impact driver here I like to use, and I like to get one that will sort of jam in here. I like to jam one of these nice impact bits in there. Even though it's all stripped, this impact is very hard, made of hard quality, because you're supposed to hit it with a hammer, but we're not going to hit it with a hammer. I'm just going to put it in here. I'm just going to put it in the fitting end of it, and I'm going to sit it on here. I'm not going to hit it with a hammer, and I'm going to press down it really tight and just force a lot of pressure downwards, as well as turn it very slowly and carefully. You just got to keep a lot of force on it and take your time to get that out, that screw. And once I get it up a little bit, I like to get my pliers and just screw it out the rest of the way. Get out my hand. That was a very messy screw. So that's one of them out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I've got this very stuffed up flathead screw, the rest of all Phillips screws. Now these screws here, these are like what you'd find in your clutch master cylinder on motorbikes and quad bikes and stuff, and these things are always stripped. they always use the wrong screwdrivers on these, so I like to get me trusty tool out again and see if I can get it to fit in there, which it's going to fit. You can get I've got various sizes here of these tools. I like to use these quite a bit because the hand impact driver, they really are a nice tight fit in, even in the strip screw, and because they're precision cut and they're not like a worn out old screwdriver what you got, I only use these for one purpose, is for this, and just stick that in there and apply a lot of pressure to it, really, and just go very slow, because you can still strip the screw. Like obviously if the quality is real bad, you're not going to be able to get the screw out, so you're just going to have to put up with it. But just keep the pressure on it really tight. Don't take the pressure off it. Keep it on there nice and tight and just screw it out. That's that one out. The driver bits, these are all impactors. I've got my hand impactor here. It's an 18-volt impactor. I've had it for quite some time. It's a Makita brand. It's a DTD146, that's what it is. I like to get that, and I've got different size. I've got different size screwdriver bits here. I've got they're all a variety. I've got hex bits and all that sort of stuff too. They fit all random stuff. So I'll put this in there, and this is a pretty good fit. Try this one. This is a nice fit. These are PH1 and PH2. They're all got different numbers what they're for. Just put that in there. If I'm going to use the impact driver, I'll force a lot of downward pressure on there, so I'll put all my weight on it, and I'll keep a lot of pressure downwards and to drive. Got some other tools over here and other pieces. I like to, you know, if I've got a screw like this, there's that fits nice in there. I may as well just use the screwdriver for this one. Keep a lot of downward pressure on it. Sorry about that. Yeah, you've got to keep a lot of downward pressure on the screw all the time. You don't want to take the force off it, because that will strip it out more and you'll have a lot of difficulty getting it out. It's all bent and twisted and wobbly, this screw. That's that one out. I've got this one here, and I've got some pieces in here, and this is it's a Torx piece set, and I just see if I can get one in here to fit it. They got all different types of them. You got that one there, looks like I'll be able to grip on the outside of it. So just a random thing, because sometimes, a lot of times, the edges on the screws on the outside of them, you can use a hand tool or something. I've got myself a hand tool here. Just put it in there like this, and do the exact same thing as you would with the other screws. You got to make sure you keep a lot of downward pressure. No, that broke me piece. I haven't got another one of them. That's not going to fit in it. I've got a funny looking, it's a funny looking star 3-piece bit. I'll see if I can jam that in this screw. I'll try this bit, because like a lot of the times, you know, screwdrivers and anything else, some of these other bits, they're never going to work, so you gotta try anything you can, because you know, a lot of these things you can't fit power tools or anything into. Like especially, you know, if this is in the middle of a motorbike frame, you get this cordless impact driver in there, so you got to use hand tools. I'll just the impact on it. You're supposed to hit the back of the impact. You can see where I've been belting with a hammer before on different things, but you know, a lot of the time, just because this has got a fair bit of weight in it, I just keep a lot of pressure on it and just move it around. You just got to keep a lot of force on the screw at all times. Whoops. There you go, there's another screw. Now these screws here, like, because they're already like recessed in there and they're hard up against it, just like a self tap of this one. So what I'll do is I'll screw extractor. In the impact driver, I mean. And after I've drilled a little bit, I'll put this in there and I'll put in reverse. The only thing I don't like about this is, if you, like with this, as you just seen then when I was going forward, is that you got to drill a hole in it first, and then you got to put this in there. And what happens if this gets damaged, the fluid of it on the end of that, it's useless. Or if it rounds off in this screw, like obviously if you're using power tools, you've got to go very slow trying to get it out. So I'll just go as slow as I possibly can with it. I'll just drill it a little bit more. That's a good example why they don't work, because once they do that, I can go up to the next size. I've got the next size here, which it may grab into it, but it may not. When it slips like that when you're trying to get it out, just grab your screwdriver and try and dig it under it while you're holding it. just pushed it back in. I'll get my impact driver on it. I've got a very good impact bit, and even though that thing's made a little small round hole in it, I'll put my impact driver bit in it. See if I can prise it up with a screwdriver at the same time, carefully. Now to get myself a bigger screwdriver here. And that's exactly what happens if you strip a thread in a motorcycle. The thread can end up getting caught and stripping out, but you can't actually get a grip on it to pull it out. And sometimes using a screwdriver or get a nail or something in there to prise it behind it when it's in there to hold it up, like as I see me do. They can really fight you, these screws. They're not, like, you know, they're not as simple to get out as what you think. And you've got to try anything and everything. This one's been stripped by Phillips, but I'll be able to get a big flathead screwdriver. What I got a real big flathead screwdriver there. I'll put that on it. Put a lot of downward pressure on it. Like that. With a real good quality screwdriver, if you keep a lot of pressure on it, you should be able to screw it out, even when it is damaged, like that. That's heavily damaged. You never ever want to go putting a screw like that back in, because it's not damaged on when you go to twist it to go back in. Most of the time they'll do up, but you'll never be able to get them back out. They'll fight you like that last one did. And that's why I don't like using these tools, because they can make the matter worse. Like, you know, for a simple situation. Got another screw here. I like to make sure I've got one that will fit it. Got a whole case of different bits here, all different Phillips heads and flatheads. I'll show you all these, all the different sizes for the screwdriver bits, and all these all them, like, you know, that's for all different various screws. So this screw here, I'll start with the biggest one first, which it's way too big. That's no good. This one's got a nice point on it. That fits pretty good, this one. It's a nice firm fit. Grab my tool. Like, if I had a worn out screwdriver, you'd never be able to even attempt to get this out, because it just keep on turning in there. So just apply a lot of pressure. And just be very easy with it. there's no rush in getting the screw out too fast. If you rush, it'll end up stripping it and you'll damage your own screwdriver bit. If it slips, find another one that will be even tighter fit. Or you can also, got that one out. That was a nice fit in that. It was a little bit of move, but very little. This screw here is absolutely stuffed. I think I'll get me vice grips. Now vice grips are alright if they're on an area where you can get to them. What I'll do is I'll just undo them a bit. You gotta make sure you tighten the vice grips up quite a bit so they don't slip off it. Now vice grips do have a purpose. I have undone quite a few screws and bolts of these that have been stripped, and just go very easy with them. And also, if this was on a motorbike engine or quad bike or whatever, I'd make sure I put plenty of WD-40. They try and get them in the threads of them, because a lot of them are all rusted in there, and you will have to drill them out. There's no other way. So, you know, these different ways here do work, but you are going to come across them at times, like especially, you know, brake master cylinders on quad bikes and stuff. You will have to drill them. There's just no other way of getting them out. You can use a nail or a punch. I've got a needle here from an old spray gun when I pulled apart, but you can use punches and stuff and work the screw around them with a hammer. And the bolt in there and the head was snapped off it. You could use a punch and carefully go around it inside the thread, and you could work that out if you take a lot of time. It is possible to get a bolt out like that, and it will work with a screw to an extent, but if the screw's really stuck in there and it's rusted, you'll be drilling it out with a drill bit. You'll end up getting extreme, and you'll be getting a drill bit out like this, and you'll be drilling it out, and then you'll be making a mess of it, and then you'll end up putting a screw extractor in it. You'll be putting a screw extractor in it like that after you've drilled it, and that can take a lot of work too. You do have these pieces here to extract screws as well. I'll give you a demonstration of one of these. They fit in your impact gun. I don't like these because they're a bit like these pieces here. You drill a hole in them and they'll end up making a round hole, and you'll put this piece in there and it'll be slipped, and you'll be drilling in further, and even drilling with a drill bit. You'd think, why, you know, if I drilled it with a drill bit, like, you know, right out, so this would fit in there halfway or more, what happens is once you drill out a bigger hole and it starts slipping and it's all wobbly, you go up to the next size and it's just keeps on turning. So I prefer, instead of wrecking it and messing everything up with these, I do prefer the hand impact driver, and these hardened bits, because using it with your hand will work, but to get the maximum out of it, hit the back of the impact driver with a hammer real hard. That's what I found. It's got me out of a lot of trouble a lot of times. But I'll just give you a demonstration with this piece, how useless they are. I got lucky with that one. Just be very careful you don't touch it, because that piece will be quite hot from all the friction. And if that didn't work, then that would have just kept on chewing all that screw out, and then I would have been having to drill it out anyway. You can try all these different tools. Well, that was the bit then, it just got it out. And that's the case, it comes in high speed steel they are. They come in a 5-piece kit. Screw extractor. I'm not sure what brand they are, but I've brought multiple different types, and like, you know, for getting drill bits out. And I've got left-handed drill bits, and I've got bolt extractors and stuff. But that, I didn't think that would get that out then, just because, you know, like obviously it bit in enough to get it out, but if that was in something that was a lot harder, that would have no hope of getting that out. And I've got the last screw here, and this is a flathead screw, a very old one, just a real piece of crap. It's already had a lot of abuse. If you can get a pair of pliers in there, use a pair of pliers if you can, which is very awkward, but if you can't get a pair of pliers in there, it's time to get your driver bits out. I've got a whole kit of them here, and just find the right one that fits in there if you can. One that's very close. That one there. And that's the end. Now I've got a hell of a mess to clean up. I'll just run you through all the tools I've got here. These are my extractors. I've got these gold ones. That was exactly the same as the silver ones, you see. I've got these extractors. I've got all these different driver bits, the torques, and there's that many, there's flatheads, and I've got all the Phillips head ones out the table. Got my impact drivers in here, multiple them, vice grips. Got me screwdrivers, hammer, pliers. This is me portable handheld impact driver. Just comes in that case there. Got all them screwdrivers. They're all good quality screwdrivers. And these. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.